I'm amazed that you are interested. You know, I can understand some of the yachting people that I know, but you know that you came and asked me, I was really flattered.
Well, so I was extremely fortunate at the Monaco Yacht Show. I got to meet Dan Leonard of Nuvolari-Lenard Designs, the truly penultimate yacht designer in the GIGAYACHT mega yacht world. Designed the biggest yachts in the world, including Nord, APHO, Black Pearl, to name a few. One of today's truly amazing artisans. So he designs everything from doorknobs, interiors, fittings, to the whole exterior look and design of major gig yachts, the biggest and most expensive yachts in the world. Outstanding designs, and just what a passionate waterman he is. He sailed across the Atlantic recently on a 30-foot boat with no electronics, no charts, no compass. Truly an amazing feat, and rare that a designer will do that. One of his big concerns right now is the amount of plastics we have in the ocean. And as I know firsthand, and as many of you do, it's in all the oceans of the world. So it's been ground down into microplastics. Fish eat the microplastic, we eat the fish. And now we all have a percentage of plastic in us as well as the fish. We're going to do whatever we can to bring technologies forward to alleviate this problem, or to make as big a dent as we possibly can. And so Dan Leonard has been able to purchase a VOR, a Volvo Ocean Race 70, redesigning it to be able to campaign and raise awareness for all the plastics in the ocean, and be able to give this boat to different organizations so they can raise the awareness, raise money, and then fund some of these technologies to assist in getting plastics out of the ocean while we can. And it's a great endeavor, and I was so happy that you know, I can be a part of that. We can all be a part of this effort. It's super important for all of us, our kids, the world itself, and all the, you know, all the fish in the sea. It's a great, wide-ranging conversation, and I hope you enjoy it.
When you have the option of taking virtually any boat you want to cross, so why did you choose a 30-foot boat with no electronics?
It was not the choice of the boat itself, it was the choice how the boat is made, you know? Because if you want to spread the idea of problematics of pollution, you have to also address, which is totally counterproductive to my business, a new making. You cannot build yourself a toy to then address the problem. So we actually, since the beginning, my idea was repurposing vessels.
Okay.
So these were abandoned racing projects, and the boat is actually a Frankenstein. The hull was one boat, the deck was another one, then we built some pieces that were missing. The mast was from another boat.
Really? Okay.
The only thing that I rebuilt new was keel and rudder to the original design, because I couldn't risk that. You know?
Right. So that, you know, what a dichotomy of being able to do the type of design work you do for the pinnacle of GIGAYACHTS, right? The outstanding, some of your designs are absolutely phenomenal. But to have this concept of, hey, I want to repurpose yachts.
No brand.
No branding.
No design, no signature, no anything, you know, that's the point, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a non-branding situation.
Right.
Otherwise, you are always losing the credibility. You are promoting some kind of a product through this, you know?
Yeah.
Or even your own design if you're a designer. So I could not risk to design my boat, and I could not make it a private venture of a rich boy building himself a boat then to address the problems, you know?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense, no?
Yeah.
So this first boat was already repurposed since the beginning, you know?
Okay, yeah.
And also there is a little bit of a monk situation behind it. You don't try to do it comfortably, you know? You have to get in a real contact with the situation.
Yeah.
So we basically, through the construction, wiped away all the ideas about the equipment, at the end ending with the completely bare boat. There is no compass, no speedometer,
so
no navigation whatsoever. Also, we never tried this boat before. We mounted it and I left.
Okay.
So we were very confident that we did a strong boat, and not only she was strong for the crossing, I donated it to the Antigua Yacht Club from
So
the
I noticed you
youngsters.
did that, yeah. Brilliant.
And 3 years after, it's still sailing in original setup. Only the sails are new, actually. So
excellent.
nothing broke.
Yeah, amazing. Well, that's
And
great.
that was racing afterwards, not cruising as I did, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what about the new project? So you're taking a VOR.
Well, now we are putting it on steroids, no? So I
Right.
took definitely obsolete racer as a racer.
Yeah.
Not only because she's older, but because it's foiling coming in. So these monohulls like this will never be built again, at least
Right,
not
exactly.
in the near future.
Right,
no?
of that era, it's the way
So
it
that
is.
was the peak of performance of monohull.
At that point, absolutely.
And nothing
Yeah.
was built faster afterwards.
But
no?
you had a crew of 10 guys,
14.
14 guys
Up
at
to
that
16.
point. Yeah, so at that point, having to run the boat, so you've had to simplify the sail handling.
We will have to, yes.
You'll have
but
to
I
do
know what I want and how to do it. You
Yeah.
know, these are some procedures that have been not only developed before with this transatlantic. I always modified my boats to single-handed.
Right.
No?
As I have too.
Yeah, so
you have to.
You know
have
what
to.
you want to
Yeah.
do, how you can do it. You know
Yeah.
your capacities, your possibilities. You know the problematics that you can find by the maneuvering. So it's possible.
Yeah.
But
And
it's a procedure that is completely different to the normal sailing maneuvers. You know, you have to
have to
follow
think
completely
everything-
different protocols
Yeah.
when you are changing or modifying the sail plan or stuff.
But
like
once you have, like I have gone through the boats I've had, stem to stern, new electronics, plumbing, sail handling, everything. And once you have that confidence in the boat that you've designed everything, you know everything, if you have your eyes closed. And to be able to travel and have that confidence in a boat, and especially doing it on a VOR,
Well,
that's going to be really exciting.
That's
going
making
to
it
be super
interesting,
exciting.
because any boat can be single-handed, but that's exactly the boat that was never meant to be single-handed.
Exactly.
So
right.
that makes the whole thing interesting.
And so I looked at a VOR boat for cruising, to convert into a cruising yacht, but there was issue with the depth of keel.
That is something you have to swallow.
Right. So
Nothing to do about it.
14, 16 feet of depth.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an issue, but what a great project. And it is, how are you going to raise the awareness of plastics in the ocean? Because I got to tell you, I've done a trip that went up the coast of Sumatra, up the Singapore Straits, up the Malacca Straits, off the coast of Malaysia. And they use styrofoam fishing buoys. And those styrofoam fishing buoys disintegrate, and the entire northern entrance to the Malacca Strait is covered with styrofoam.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, I was really amazed when I saw in the middle of Atlantic all these pieces of plastic. I mean, it really isn't much of a man's sign, except if you look at into the water.
Yeah.
So coming back to the first sailing, just to explain you, when I said it was a little bit of a monk approach, at the end, I had to build my own awareness first. And that's not having an autopilot and sleeping in the boat as the boat is progressing. It's 18, 19 hours hand steering every day, so you are really observing
Connected.
the environment for 19 hours, every day.
Wow.
Okay, from dawn to dusk plus a little bit of a darkness, but definitely all daylight is you there with the full awareness of your environment. So you see every piece of plastic, you see every fish flying by, you see every bird. You cannot be not involved,
Absolutely.
And after a couple of days, it becomes into a kind of a
Zen-like experience.
Exactly,
doesn't it?
it's
Doesn't it?
incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
You are feeling the increase of the wind by less than a knot on your ears, or change, and you're just you're with your head understanding what's happening behind the boat. It's amazing.
And for me, if I have a stock boat, if I have provisions and charts, I need charts. It's ultimately liberating. That sense of freedom when you're at sea traveling it's fantastic.
Maybe
like
the only comparable thing is maybe extreme alpinism.
So there are few adventures that men can take today.
Yes.
That are really unique. Crossing in the ocean, that view has never changed.
No.
For history. So other than maybe the trash we see in the ocean, and alpining, right? So climbing and the combination of those two.
Yeah.
And,
So this is how it was done the first time. I had to build my proper awareness to know what I'm even talking about, you know, because sitting inside having Netflix and going on the autopilot, you know, everyone can do that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's much easier than people think.
Yeah.
Take away the autopilot, you are not alone. You are more
Take away
than
your
alone.
navigation equipment, and
you are short all the time of hands. You know,
Yeah.
single-handed is even not enough. You know,
Yeah.
you would always wish that somebody is holding this or that. You know,
Right.
because it's really
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
impossible.
Yeah.
I used a lot of elastics, you know, to buy
To
myself
just
30,
a little
30
time to
seconds
get- yeah.
of autonomous movement, you know, to
Around
run
the
there
boat,
and
yeah.
back. You know,
Yeah.
I had this stuff, or I would just, you know,
Hove to?
drift into wind,
Okay.
slamming,
Kind of hove to and just
had to do what I had to do, and then
yeah, and
return.
then continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you build these procedures that are totally uncommon in a normal sailing, no?
Yeah.
But you have to know your boat, you have to know what it's capable of, and you do things that nobody does with the crew, no? So
Yeah.
obviously opposite things, no?
Yeah.
Well, that was the first step, you know? Doing something that builds a credibility that I know what I'm doing, and basically building my own awareness to the maximum, knowing what I've saw, knowing how the real situation is out there, no?
Yeah.
So this new project obviously is repurposing again.
Yeah.
It's maybe even nobility involved, because you are taking an old lady that has been a princess, no, of sailing, and is destined to be scrapped.
Right. Exactly.
Sooner
and,
or later.
and giving her a new life.
You know how they
Yeah.
they end up sitting in some port with
Oh,
a lot of
and-
shells, and one day
yeah.
it's actually a special waste. It's
Yeah.
actually a problematic waste.
Right. How do you
know?
get rid of this?
How do you get rid
Yeah.
of this huge carbon fiber thing?
Exactly.
So now you're saving a very nice boat, which was high peak of engineering of sailing,
Yep.
high peak of building of sailing, high peak of performance of sailing, and nobody cares for these objects anymore.
Which
except-
is a shame. You know, sometimes they do good. When I lived in New Zealand, so I spent a lot of time in New Zealand on my boat. They repurposed some of them into corporate sailing boats to go
Yeah.
around the Hauraki Gulf and to do that. So it's very important to be able to repurpose some of these, you know, amazing designs, because back in the day, as you say, they were the height of performance.
And these guys are actually even more choosing a boat that has some height inside, you know, some a bit, how do you say, some volume.
Right.
Well, Telefonica has nothing. It's too low even to be converted into a yacht, no? So
Right.
we're going to have to do strong modifications on the deck. We're going to have to build a little deck house
Yeah. Okay.
to give that not even normal, but minimum standing room of 6'6" maybe, you know,
Just in the
6'5",
center line.
6'5" maybe, you know, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Just not bumping your head or really being
Right. Because you're relatively tall.
yeah, but as I say, it's not my private toy. I
Right,
just have
yeah.
to be able to move around the boat without really harm myself badly, you know.
So what's the program so far as far as
Well, modifying of the front part of the deck to give some house
Right.
capacity, some volume capacity
Yep.
for these really modest 3 cabins, because boat has to have, on some situations, at least 4 crew.
right?
Especially when you take out people that have nothing to do with sailing.
Yeah.
And that's coming back to the cockpit. The new sailing arrangement is going
Right.
to be capable of taking people not being able to sail, you know, so
Right.
it's not going to be dangerous anymore.
Exactly.
The sailing functions are going to be less promiscuous together with all the rest of the spaces, no?
Right, so you've
there's going to be
separated
some
those.
place
Yeah.
where people could safely assist
And you've created
fast sailing, no?
a hard top over the.
Hardtop is a must, I think, on a boat like that.
I totally agree.
Because even on a 2-hour sailing outside, everybody gets burned, you know?
Yeah, you get sunburned, you
Yeah.
get the wind, the waves, and so that's been a pet peeve of mine. Seeing a lot of modern designs that is essentially a cancer platform.
Yes.
You have to get under the cockpit table to get any shade.
Yes.
And so it always struck me as strange because, you know, the sun can be damaging and you're in the waves and the wind and it's very tiring, and so you don't work efficiently. If you're relaxed and you're out of the sun, out of the conditions, you can work more effectively on a boat. So.
And this is where it comes to this comfort, where the boat can actually host people that are transversely involved in some kind of ecological movement, whether foundation people, you know, associations or organizations that are there for the preservancy of the ocean, or
weren't necessarily
people
sailors,
fighting on one or another way, some of the addressing some of the issues about the pollution, you know. To be able to get them out, you have to give some comfort to this, you know.
Yeah,
and why
safety.
are you getting them out? You're getting them out so these organizations can actually have, they must exit their offices, they must exit the Hilton Convention Center,
and experience.
And go out there themselves as well. They have to have an embassy office on the boat show, which is a boat, not a booth inside. So it's going to be a platform offered freely to these organizations to either do events, either invite donators, either whatever they need to do to get a little bit more interesting to wider public, no?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Why this platform is going to be interesting? Because I'm going to also do some solo sailing with it. I'm going to obviously promote this pure sailing and do some transfers or some crossings, you know, that are interesting. You know, carefully planning, I don't know, around the Corsica, around the Sardinia trip, stopping, getting in touch with mayors, you know, addressing the situation. It's all building awareness, because this thing, as long as it's not branded, as long as it's not one man's self-promotion, ends easily in media, you know, because nobody is risking that is somehow getting involved in the under the table advertising. So it's very carefully planned not to be that, you know.
And it's a factual issue. There's no ambiguity around plastic and ocean. We all know it's there. And so it has to be something that's dealt with. And so doing this effort, it's a great effort to undertake. So,
but then again, if it's a sexy product, if it's something that catches the eye, you get the attention of the yachting community, so you can address directly also the yachting community. You know, I mean, how on earth I am doing a boat that actually looks good, maybe better than many new products out there, and it's an old repurposed racer. And it's basically faster than anything out there.
That's fantastic.
So it's like taking a V12 biturbo Ferrari Formula One and converting it in a two-seater. You know, this is It's a totally obsolete car, but in reality, it's only 1 second slower than the modern car today on the same track. You know, so in these 10 years, they built 1-2 seconds of better performance. You know, so it's not obsolete in reality. It's obsolete on the peak of the racing, but not in the normal sailing community. Is like unimaginably fast boat. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the point.
And to be able to run it at its potential, I mean, that's a scary endeavor, especially since you're changing it down from 14 guys to, you know, essentially a single-hander. So it's an exciting operation.
Well, we are going to go very transversely. One of the projects which is already ongoing in preparation is crossing Atlantic with my tetraplegic friend.
Excellent.
And his assistants.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Something that somebody that nobody could even imagine to do, you know. If you slow down this boat, you know, do proper reefs and use Jeep 4, this boat is still doing 12 knots. It's a fast crossing. You do it in 14, 15 days, you know. Without exaggerating, it's flat all the time, you know. It's a big, wide boat, you know. So
you don't even have to have sails up.
I love this man. I love it.
Thank you. How are you? Yeah, and then you go transversely. You address another community, you know.
So it's going to be set up for disabled people to
also,
be able to get
absolutely,
on.
because of this flat cockpit that she already
Which
has.
is ideally
I carefully
set up.
choose Telefonica for that.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of other boats have coamings on the sides.
Right,
like
right.
the new 65s are not good for me because there is only place in the center.
Right.
The new Volvo 65, no?
Yeah.
Telefonica Blue and Telefonica Black were
absolutely flat in that middle
empty
section.
flat cockpits with these towers with winches that are going away now. You know?
Okay, yeah.
They're going
So all
on the
the
side, so there's
grinders
going to
are-
be a 500 square feet of cockpit that is flat, you know?
Yeah, fantastic. And a place to maybe lock in a wheelchair and
Or locking loose furniture for another purposes, you know? So very multi-purpose situation, no?
Okay.
And, you know, more you rotate this boat. Okay, let's go to another possibility. you know racing boats only if you're involved in racing.
Yeah.
They're so far away from any other
Type of cruising or
cruise.
enjoyment.
People don't even know what TP52 is,
Right.
you know, and they have a Renault 50, and they don't know
Right.
that there is something like that out there because it's so far away from there.
Yeah.
You know? Formula One at least comes to your home screen, you know.
Yeah.
Those things are not even
Yeah,
on
you
TV. You
hardly
have
ever
to
see.
follow special channels
Right.
to even know that's happening. So it's useless to have a racer to promote something, you know, and race for win or a second.
Because it's
or
such a small community.
what you are a presence on the race, but you are a jury boat. You are having these association people on the board, or you
Right.
have just journalists that are following the race, you know.
Right.
And at the end, you are hardly any slower than the guys racing.
Exactly. That's the amazing part, right?
You are not like a barge, you know,
Right,
there
yeah,
that is
yeah.
like a
Committee
kind of,
boat that's-
yeah. No,
Yeah.
you catch attention of all these other people, you know.
Yeah.
So, but you are the one getting larger than the racing course,
Right.
you know.
And bringing that attention to all the guys who are racing those boats, and those
Exactly.
guys who are racing the TP52s, they have other boats. They have significant yachts.
Exactly.
And so it's, yeah.
So now we are talking about, okay, this is like running the boat 365 days a year, no, in all kinds of events, possibilities, sections of this or other field that is addressing environmental problem.
Yep.
Crossings that are pure promotion, getting a celebrity on board, another promotion of this cause, you know, just I would like to make this boat quite known.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the purpose of being known is that whatever comes as a idea or message from this boat is then received, you know?
Yeah.
So this is what you do. You make a platform that is followed and recognized, and then messages are actually addressing to wider audience.
Definitely,
Basically, this is the concept behind,
Yeah.
no?